This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so okay, so again, welcome each one of you to the LoadRunner demo session. So my name is Krushik. I have around 14 years of experience in IT, specifically into automation and performance engineering. So I will be your trainer for this course, LoadRunner Basic to Advanced. Uh, so without any further delay, I'll be starting the demo session as it is already late. My only request is if you have any questions, please make a note of it and we can discuss in detail at the end, or probably after each and every point, I can allocate some time to discuss the Q&A sessions. Okay, so um, so in this demo session, okay, so we are going to discuss these 5 points, 5 agenda points. Okay, so the first agenda point is what is performance testing and why performance testing. Okay, because LoadRunner is one of the performance testing tool, and because this course is all about LoadRunner, so we will cover the LoadRunner architecture at a high level so that we all will understand what are the different components of a LoadRunner architecture. And then we will see a sample record and replay of, using the tool, how the tool is recording the script and how it's gonna look like, and how it's gonna display the result and so on. And then we'll go through the course content and then a Q&A sessions. Okay. Um, so first thing is what is performance testing? So for this, I would like to begin with this particular slide. So this slide is explaining about the software testing altogether. So in the IT industry, we have something called software testing, which most of you might already know or heard about it. So basically, this software testing is divided into two important aspects. One is functional testing and non-functional testing. So when it comes to functional testing, the core thing is all the functional testers, okay, they actually test the functionality of the application. Okay, the role of a functional tester or a manual tester is to test the functionality of the application. For example, if I ask you to test, okay, for example, let's say this is a sample website. Now, if I ask you to test whether the login functionality is working or not, what do you mean by that? It means like I want you to test whether the user is able to log in successfully or not. Okay. Now what we will do, we generally enter the username and we enter the password and we click on login button, correct? And if the user is able to log in successfully, provided the user entered the correct username and password, then that means the login functionality is working as expected, correct? So the functional testing is all about testing the functionality. Okay, there is a functionality, and if you're testing the functionality of the application, it is part of functional testing. And uh, in this aspect only, we have something called automation as well. I mean, basically, whatever the functional testing we do, we generally try to automate those test cases as well, so that from next time onwards, we need not execute manually. Our script automation script will take care of it. So that aspect actually will be done by some tools, some automation tools like Selenium or UFT or some Catalan Studio. There are different automation tools currently available in the market. So this is functional testing. When it comes to non-functional testing, here we focus more on the non-functional aspects like performance, security, etc. Okay, so when you say non-functional aspects, performance is one of the key aspect there. Okay, so performance, Uh, so what do you mean by performance? So for example, the same UI, I want to test the login functionality, how it is performing. So previously I tested whether the user able to log in successfully or not. When the user entered correct username and correct password and then click on login button, the user was able to log in or not is what we verified in the functional testing. However, the performance tester will be more interested in how much time it is taking to log in successfully. So when I enter username and password and click on login button, how much time it is taking to navigate to next page or navigate to home page is what the performance tester will be interested. Okay, so for example, here I am entering some username and password and I click on login button. Now, how much time it has taken to navigate to this page is important from performance tester perspective. Okay, so it might take like 1 second or 2 seconds or 3 seconds, right? So this timing is important from performance testing perspective. Okay, so here that's the reason. If you see, the non-functional testing is all about testing the non-functional aspects like performance. Performance means how much time a user is able to navigate from one page to another page. See, let's say I opened a page and there is a link on that page. Now I click on that link. Now, how much time it is taking for the user to go to next page is important from performance testing perspective. Okay. Now, what are the tools to use? Okay. So here, as part of performance testing, there are different tools available in the market like LoadRunner, JMeter, Gatling, NeoLoad, K6, etc. But the most widely used tools in the market as of now are JMeter and LoadRunner. Okay. So why? There are some, I mean, obviously there will be some pros and cons for every tool. So we'll discuss that later. Okay. But I hope you got, you know, at least a high level understanding of the difference between functional and non-functional testing. And I hope you understood what we are going to learn in this course. Okay. So we are going to focus more on this non-functional testing, especially performance and especially the load runner tool. Okay. Now, when you know what is performance, okay, now you understood what exactly is, where exactly is performance testing coming from. Now, in this agenda, the first point I mentioned is what is performance testing. So that's what I have told you. So when a user clicked a link or click a button, okay, how much time it is taking for the user to navigate from one page to another page? Like is it taking 1 second or is it taking 2 seconds or is it taking 3 seconds like that? Okay. So all in all, in simple terms, I'm not writing any textbook definition. Okay. So in simple terms, checking the performance of an application. Okay, checking the performance of an application by applying a load. Okay, is called performance testing. So you know this, you know the meaning of checking the performance of an application. Just now I explained, like when I click on some link, for example, I'm clicking this flights link. When I click that link, how much time it is taking to go to this page? Okay, it is important. Okay, now that's what we are checking the performance of an application. But important point is by applying load. Okay, what do you mean by load? So if you test this application with just one user, okay, it is not considered it is not considered as performance testing at all. Okay, obviously, when a single user is accessing the application, most probably the application will not have any issues at all. When let's say if 100 users are using this application at the same point of time, then we may or may not see, or we might see some performance issues like this page loading slowly or something like that. I'll tell you one generic example. So we all know lift or escalator, right? In some places we call lift, in some places we call escalator. Okay, let's say you entered a building. Okay, now you want to go to fourth floor. Now you want to go by using lift or an escalator. So you went near the lift, and okay, you went inside the lift. Okay, you are single person, right? You went inside the lift and you press 4. That means you want to go to third floor. Now, when you press 4, when you press 4, is the lift going to fourth floor or not? If it is going to fourth floor, that means it is working fine. The functionality is working fine. Functionality is working fine, no issues. But how much time it is taking to go to fourth floor? That is important from performance perspective. Is it taking 10 seconds to go to fourth floor? Is it taking 15 seconds to go to fourth floor is important. But there is one more important point. Lift or an escalator can have some maximum capacity. Okay, if you go inside a lift, there will be something written related to the lift capacity, like max 10 persons or something like that. So when there are 10 persons inside the lift and then you press 4 button, then how much time it is taking to go to fourth floor is very, very important, because here in this case you are applying some load, isn't it? Okay, so earlier a single person was there and they clicked on 4 button and the lift went to fourth floor. That means functionality wise it is working fine. It might have taken no, also it might have taken, like, let's say 10 seconds to go to fourth floor, or let's say 4 or let's say 5 seconds when a single person is there. When a single person is there, lift or an escalator took 5 seconds to go to fourth floor. Now when 10 people are on board, okay, how much time it is taking to go to fourth floor is important. This is where we are going to analyze the performance. Okay, so similarly, from the software application perspective, software application point of view, okay, when multiple users are accessing the application, and then you have to analyze the performance. That means here the term load indicates, as of now, the load indicates number of users. So you are going to check the performance of an application by applying some load. Load is nothing but number of users. Okay, let's say I'm a banking client. Now I gave a project to you saying that, hey, can you test this banking application with 100 users? Okay, now what as a performance tester, what we have to do? So we have to test the application or the banking application with 100 users. Okay, if you are testing with single user, it is not called as performance testing. Okay, it will not give you accurate results. Okay, there should be some load on the system. Load is nothing but the number of users. Okay, so in general, a generic definition, this is not any textbook definition, guys. Okay, we'll discuss that textbook definition later, because in interviews also nobody is going to ask you any textbook definition. Okay, so did you understand at a very high level what is performance testing? Okay, I'll tell you why performance testing is also important. I don't know, like, I mean, if you remember, in 2013 or 2014, I don't remember the exact year, but there was one e-commerce application at that point of time which launched the big sale for the first time. Okay, and and um, let's say, and I mean, it was something like, hey, uh, 15th of November, 12 p.m. There's a big sale. They announced it something like that. Now, what happened at that time? Normally, in normal cases, let's say 10,000 users are actively use that application. Let's say, because they announced a big sale on that day, assume the number of users who access the application was 1 lakh, like, one more. Okay, so that means the load was 10 times more. The load was 10 times more. And then what happened? The application did not respond. Application almost like crashed. Okay, so That time it was not successful. Okay, on that, during that particular year it was not successful. Even they didn't assume, or they didn't expect that these many users will access the application, and they might not have done testing with 1 lakh users, we don't know. Okay, all in all, in a normal days, if it is supporting X number of users, in if there is any special day or special occasion, obviously the number of users will increase, and uh, the the application team should make sure they arranged or they configured everything correctly such that it will support more number of users. Okay, so what happened, it application didn't respond, application crashed, right? So it was like it was not successful, so it means it had a huge impact on the business, isn't it? So that's the reason performance testing is very important. If performance testing is not conducted, the applications might face problems like slowness, pages loading forever, inconsistency, and may further result in business loss. Everyone agree? Okay, so every application before going live or before uh, being deployed to production for real users, okay, they should be, I mean, the application should undergo a performance testing phase. Okay, so normally why performance testing is very important, because it will have a direct impact on the business. Now normally, let's say you want to send an email, you want to attach 10 attachments and send an email. No, you are using some xyz email currently, okay, and then you wanted to attach some 10 attachments and send an email. You attached all 10 attachments, it is taking so much time, it is not attaching properly, it is taking so much time, and the mail is not being sent on time. So one time it's okay, two times it's okay, three times it's okay. Okay, so what happens after some time, the users will get irritated and the user will switch to different email provider. Yes or no? That means they are losing business, correct? So all in all, performance testing, if it is not done properly or if it is not done entirely, then it will eventually result in business loss, a financial business loss for sure. Okay, now I'll tell other points later, not required now, but I just wanted to give you some um, important note on why performance testing is very, very important. Okay, so if you have any questions, okay, um, oh, are you able to hear? I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay. If you have any questions, do let me know, or you can make a note of it. We can discuss clearly at the end, because everyone will have different questions, right? Because it's the first demo session, so we can discuss here at this point. So just now we discussed what is performance testing and why performance testing at a very high level. Okay, I didn't want to go in in detail, but hope you understood at a very high level what is performance testing. So hope you got some clarity about it. So shall I move to the next point, the load runner architecture? Okay, hope you're noting down the questions, or if you want to ask now, you can ask, no problem. Okay. um okay, let's try to understand the second point now. So I said, like, there are different tools in the market like JMeter, LoadRunner and all. But because this course is all about LoadRunner, now we'll try to understand LoadRunner architecture. To understand this architecture, I will uh, explain you this, or we will derive the architecture based out of some questions. Okay. Now, let's say there is a bank application. Let's say there is a bank application, and uh, that bank application project, is given to us by client. Okay, the client said, hey, you have to do performance testing for my banking application. You have to do performance testing of my banking application with 500 users. Okay, now why client mentioned 500 users? Because client is assuming that their application will be used by 500 users. Okay, now what will we do generally if you want to test the banking application with 500 users? What will we do? shall we bring shall we bring 500 people and give them 500 laptops or desktops and make them sit at one place and ask them to log into this banking application and perform some tasks? Can we do that? Anyone? Can we do that? Can we bring 500 people, give them 500 laptops, and ask them to sit at one place and or sit at different places, in fact, and then connect to and access the application? Is it possible?
No.
No.
No, definitely not possible. Okay, let's assume if it is possible. But what if the client returns and says, hey, no, I think we might have to test with more number of users. 500 is a small number, maybe, or less number, which I have already provided. Let's go with 2000 users. Now, can we bring 2000 people and give them 2000 laptops and, hey, everyone log in? I want to see how my application is responding when 2000 users are accessing the application at the same point of time. See, those 2000 users, here these 2000 users might be performing different tasks. Like one user might be transferring money, one user might be downloading bank statement, one user might be paying a credit card bill. Different users might perform different tasks. Okay, but all in all, 2000 users have to be present and access the application so that uh, the team will analyze the performance. So, which here in this case, it is not possible to bring 2000 people for sure. So that's the reason in the LoadRunner architecture, we have a component called load generator. So the load generator, okay, so the load generator, what is the purpose of load generator is it will simulate the users for you. It will simulate virtual users for us. Okay, so so these load generators are also a kind of machines, okay, machines, but they are highly configured. But they are highly configured. Okay, now each machine based on its configuration will support some X number of users like 500 or 1000. See how many users each load generator machine will support depends on different factors which we will discuss later, okay, in the later part of the course. But at present, I can tell you that every load generator machine will be able to generate some X number of users like 500, 600, 300,000 like that. Now, the specialty of load generator machine is these machines are highly configured machines which will simulate or generate virtual users for you. And these virtual users will perform similar tasks like a normal human user does. Okay, like clicking a link or clicking a button or something like that. Okay, so now who will take care of generating those virtual users, 2000 users or 500 users or whatever it is? Who will take care? There is a component called load generator and it will take care of it. Okay, now you have some number of users. Now you want to test the application performance. Now, how will you test? What will you test? As I said, there are different scenarios. Okay, in a bank application, there are different scenarios. Can anyone tell, like, as just now we discussed, uh, I'll I'll just write down uh, two or three here. One is transfer money. This is very important one, correct? Download download statement, something like this. Okay, as a pay credit card bill. So these are some of the important scenarios in every banking application. Yes or no? I mean, there are others also, but I just mentioned these three. Now, from a performance tester perspective, if I want to test the application performance, I need to test the performance of all important scenarios. Okay, my performance testing should be in such a way that it is covering all the important scenarios like transfer money or download statement or paying credit card bill. Okay, like I said, like there are 2000 users, let's say. Out of those 2000, 1000 are transferring money, 500 are downloading statement, 500 are paying credit card bill. But all in all, 2000 users are accessing the application, but they might be performing different tasks like this. This is possible. But from performance tester point of view, you always remember that we need to test the performance for all the critical scenarios of that application. It could be any application. The main goal is to test the critical business scenarios. Okay. Now you can ask a question. No, sir, you are saying these three are critical. Then what is non-critical for a banking application? Let's take one example of a non-critical one. Changing user password. It is a non-critical one. Do see do users change password daily? No. That means the the usage of that particular feature or functionality is very less. But generally, every user might transfer some money daily, right? Possible, right? So that means this is a critical scenario, whereas changing password is a non-critical scenario. You can ignore you can ignore such non-critical scenarios from performance testing generally, unless the client is asking you to do so. Otherwise, you can ignore. Okay. Now you have these 2000 users ready with the help of load generator. Now I want to test the performance of transfer money scenario. How can I do that? So here in this case, generally, what are the steps that I generally do for transfer money? I launch application. I mean, I'm just telling you from a normal user perspective. First, the user will launch application. Then user will log into the application. Correct. Then user will navigate to accounts. I mean, savings account or checkings account like that. Let's say checkings account for today. Okay. So user is navigating to checkings account. Okay. Then user will be select the beneficiary to whom you want to send the amount. So you select a beneficiary and then enter the amount and then you probably click transfer. Okay. Or you can write these two in same line also if you want, because on the same page you do, and then click transfer and then you log out. So these are the steps a normal user performs for transferring money. Yes or no? Now I want to test the performance of this. So what I have to do is, okay, I want some of the users from this. Okay, I want the users to test these steps. But how can I make the users test these steps? How can I make the virtual users test these steps? So for that, you need to generate or record or develop a script. Okay, or you need to record or you need to generate or you need to develop a script with the help of a component called Vugen. Vugen is a component using which we record or we generate or we develop the scripts. Everyone understood? Everyone understood what is the purpose of this? So using this component from the tool, we actually record all these steps and generate a script. I'll show you how we will do that in some time today itself. Okay. Now you understood. Now there is a component called load generator, which is simulating users for us. And then there is a component which is actually generating the script for us. Okay. And then what is the next step? Can anyone guess the next step? What is the next step? After recording the script or after generating the script, what we have to do? Any idea?
Parameterization correlation.
We need to
Run the script.
run or we need to execute it. Correct. So there is a component called controller or performance center. Okay. There's a component called controller or performance center, which using which we actually create a scenario. Okay, to run these scenarios, to run these scripts with some number of users. So what we have to do is, whatever the script that you generated here, you need to upload it here. Whatever the script you generated here, you need to upload it to this component and configure it in such a way that it is going to run with some X number of users. Like let's say transfer money, I want to run with 500 users. So what you have to do, you just need to generate the script here and then customize it or enhance it and then upload it into this component, and then configure it to run with some X number of users. Okay, so here in this component, we will create a scenario, we will configure the scenario, and then we will just trigger the execution. Okay, the actual execution will not happen here. The actual execution will not happen here, but we will just trigger the execution. Okay, now after triggering the execution, what will happen is there is some additional component called agent process. Okay, let me write it here. There is some additional component called agent process, which will act as a bridge between these two, to and fro, two ways, I mean two-way communication. Okay, so whatever the scripts we uploaded here, whatever we scenario we created here, all the scripts, files, and everything will be transferred from this component to load generator here. And then the actual execution happens here because the users are generated or users are simulated here. So in these machines, the actual execution happens. The transfer of data and the transfer of files between these two components will be taken care by agent process. Okay, now when the entire execution happens, the data will traverse between these two components to and fro. And then finally, after execution, what will you do? Let's say you executed. Now what you want to do?
Reports.
You want to analyze the results, right? You want to understand what went right, what went wrong, um, whether there are any performance issues or anything like that. Okay, so that component is called analysis. So in this component, the actual analysis will happen. Actually, it's a very good component which will give us a detailed metrics and graphs, for us to analyze whether there was any performance issue or not, or how much time it has taken. Okay, so we will be calculating the time taken at each step level. So launching, how much time it has taken to launch; login, how much time it has taken to login; so how much time it has taken for the user to navigate to this account. So for every step, we calculate the time. Okay, so all in all, these are the different components. So you might have got some idea about these components now. I'm okay if you understood at least for 20, 30, 40%. Okay, because we are just trying to understand at a very high level. We'll be discussing in detail each component, we'll be discussing in detail later on. Okay, so any questions? Did you guys understand these components? So it's very simple architecture, nothing much. There are multiple components, and each component has a specific purpose. And we have to understand the purpose of the component, and we have to develop the scripts and configure the scenario and run it accordingly. Any questions in this architecture? You can make a note of the questions. Okay, we can discuss that at the end. So assuming all of you understood to some extent at least, because some of you might be from non-IT background, I understand. Some of you might have some idea already. Okay, so that's fine. I'm okay if you understood at least 20 to 30% of what we discussed. Okay, because I'm confident and I'm sure that you will understand 100% very soon. So without any delay, let me go to the uh, third point in our agenda: sample, record, and replay. Can anyone tell what is the component that we will be using for this? Any guess?
Fusion.
Blaze meter.
Someone said blaze meter from, I mean,
The
just
Fusion
curious,
will
from
be
where did you
using.
get blaze meter?
Oh, Fusion is when
Correct. So from our architecture only, as we discussed, the component that we use for developing or recording or generating the scripts is Vusion. Simple, right? So what we do for now, what I'm gonna do, because Vusion or the LoadRunner tool is already installed on my laptop. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna launch a component called Vusion. I'm gonna launch a component called Vusion. Let me launch. Okay, just type Vusion. You'll see this icon and you click on it. Okay, it is launching a Vusion. So this is how it will look like, the Vusion. Now, um, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna simply click on, I mean, here there are different menu options. We'll discuss each of one of those as and when required. And this is all about the recent scripts or recent activity that I have done. And these are all the new features and all those things, some information about that. But what we are going to do is click on File. Okay, for now, for today. Okay, click on File, New Script and Solution, New Script and Solution. Now, when you click on New Script and Solution, here it will give a pop-up window where we need to choose the protocol. Okay, so don't think too much about it. I'm selecting this protocol for today. I'll tell you what is this protocol probably day after tomorrow in detail. Okay, so uh, I mean, basically at a very high level, the protocol that I have selected here is used to develop or record the scripts for web applications. So any application which runs on the browser, which starts with HTTP or HTTPS, I'm going to use this protocol. Okay. So it's as simple as that. And then where I'm going to save it. Okay. So I can give a path, or like, I can give some data here, and I can write, like, demo script for today. I'm not going to write anything in detail, but just to understand, this is a script name and this is where we are saving it, and click on create. Okay, so it is creating the script for us, a blank script for us. So now here, this is how the UI looks like once you create a empty project or empty script. Now here you see a solution explorer where we have a different options, and each of these options we'll discuss in detail very soon. Okay, so uh, and here the script that you record or generate will be displayed here. Okay, and these are different menu options. Okay, all options enabled, you can see here. We will use all these options as and when required. Now, in just because this is just demo session and I want to record, a simple flow for you, and then I want to replay, right? So what is the flow that I'm going to record today is, I'm going to record three simple steps. One is launch application. Okay, second one is log into the application. Third one is log out of the application. So these three steps only I'm going to do. Which application? This application, this sample application. Okay, one second. This sample application, I can just copy the URL also here. I'll share that URL details and all. I mean, because this is demo session, I'm using this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to launch this application. I'm going to log in, I'm going to log out, and I'm going to find out how much time it is taking to launch the application, how much time it is taking to log into the application, how much time it is taking to log out of the application. Okay, we'll just try to understand it at a very high level. So now, to record these three steps, what I have to do. So obviously, I mean, before you record, right, we generally execute it manually so that you are good to go. You don't want to interrupt or pause or stop script recording. So as a good practice, every performance tester will manually execute the flow once or twice. Okay, and then you go ahead and record the script. So I'm launching this application, then I'm gonna enter the username like this and password, and then I'm gonna click on a login, and then I'm gonna click on sign off like this. Okay, and then I'm gonna click on sign off. So now go to the tool. There are different options to record. Like, you can click on this record icon directly, or you can use this record menu option and then click on record, or you can use a shortcut control plus R. So 99.9999% of the performance testers will use this option because it's a pretty straightforward here. Okay, so now what happens is, when I click on this icon, what will happen? A pop-up window will appear, okay, asking us to select some details. So for time being, what I will do is, I will ignore this. I'll explain you this probably in a couple of days. um, So here I'm gonna select the browser first, which browser I want to use for recording. Okay, so let's say I will choose Mozilla Firefox. Okay, uh, if you don't see any of the browser that you want here, I'll tell you how to add it probably in couple of days again. Okay, so for time being, let's select Mozilla Firefox. And then here you need to enter the application URL, that is this one, the application URL that you want to test. So I'm gonna enter that application URL here like this. And then I'm not going to do anything more here. I just selected the browser, enter the application URL that I want to record, and then click on start recording. We'll see these options later. Okay, I'm just clicking on start recording. See, when I click on start recording, what will happen is the Mozilla Firefox browser will be launched with the given URL. See, you will see a Mozilla Firefox browser soon. It will be launched with the given URL. Okay. See, is it did it launch Mozilla Firefox? Yes. Why? Because I have selected Mozilla Firefox. Is it going to launch web the application? Yes, it's going to launch the application. It's a sample application, web tours. Okay. So did it launch it? Yes. See, now at the same time, I see a movable window here, which is very, very important. And you see a similar movable window in JMeter also, but this is more effective. Okay, this is more tester friendly and more having more features. Okay, uh, now you in this mobile window, you see some number which keeps on increasing. Okay, so when the number keeps on increasing, it is actually a good sign. Okay, that means uh, the tool is able to understand your application and record your application successfully. If the number doesn't increase even after performing some user actions, then you need to think alternative way. We'll discuss that later, what is alternative and all. But the very important thing is the number will keep on increasing as and when you click on a link or you perform some actions on the UI, the number keeps on increasing. Okay, and then you have different options like stop recording, pause recording, cancel recording. Okay, this one we'll see later. And then again, these two we'll see later instance, like maybe in 3-4 sessions, after 3-4 sessions. And then you have option to comment, some checkpoints concept. There are different options. I'll tell you all these options we'll discuss later, but one thing I'll focus today is these two. So one is say I'll do a mouse over on it. It says insert start transaction. I'll do a mouse over on other one, which is currently disabled. It says insert end transaction. So in the insert and start transaction, insert end transaction. So what we have to do is before you perform any action on the UI, first you have to click on the insert start transaction. And then you have to enter the name of the action that you are going to perform. So what is the action that we are going to perform now? Can anyone tell me what is the action that we are going to perform?
Login.
Login. Oh,
Login.
yeah, you can give login. Good. I mean, we'll discuss the naming convention later, but as of now, login is a good name to give. So I just entered login and click OK. Now, when I click OK, you can see this insert end transaction also enabled, but don't click it. Okay. So when you have to click it, when you go and perform the action on the UI, and then after wait for few seconds, and then you need to click on this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, enter the username and password and click on login button. And once this page is loaded, whatever you're seeing, okay, you see this page loaded successfully, or you wait for 5 seconds, at least 5 to 6 seconds, and then you click on end transaction, insert end transaction. That means you are ending login. Login is done, you are ending it. Now what is the next transaction? The next transaction, can anyone tell? I'm clicking on insert start
Sign off.
transaction. Yeah, you can tell log off or sign off, whatever it is, sign out, whatever it is. I'm clicking on OK. And then I'm not going to click on insert and transaction. Rather, first I'm going to click on sign off button, which is on the left hand side menu. So I'm going to click on sign off and wait for few seconds. and then click on insert end transaction and end this particular transaction, log off. Okay, and because all the steps we have recorded as per our initial discussion, now I'm going to stop recording. Now when you click on stop recording, okay, what will happen? The tool will generate the script for you. Okay, the tool will generate some script for you. So okay, it recorded some script, it gave you some recording report. I'll discuss this later. But if you switch to action here, see it generated some code for you. How many lines of code it generated? Around approximately some 50 or 55 lines of 50 or 55 lines of code it generated. See, very clear. Now, um, try to understand this code in a simple way. I'll tell you. Okay, first, uh, let me know if you are able to see the screen clearly. Okay, there is. Hope you are able to see the each and every line clearly. Now, see line number 18 first. Okay, what it is saying? LR start transaction login. From where this line got generated? And can anyone remember? So if you remember few minutes ago, there was a mobile pop-up window where there is a button called insert start transaction, and there I have given login name. So when I started insert start transaction, this piece of code got generated. It says login is starting here. If you scroll down a little bit, you see line number 37, LR end transaction login. That means here the login is ending. So you know that insert end transaction button. Okay, when you click on it, this line got generated. See, LR end transaction. Okay, this line got generated, LR end transaction. So what it means? The line number start 18, we are starting login. Line number 37, we are ending login. In between, whatever is there, that code or that request is related to login. You see, the username I entered Jojo and password I entered is Bean. It is giving you that information clearly, right? So this piece of code is related to login. If you scroll down a little bit, line number 41, you see LR again LR start transaction, but this time it is log off. And if you see line number 53, LR end transaction log off. That means we are starting log off here and we are ending log off here. In between, whatever you have, that code or that request is related to sign off or log off. Everyone understood? I mean, are you trying to understand how the code is getting generated? If you scroll up little bit, okay, here we are starting login. That's fine. We understood that this is login. Can anyone tell what is this? What is this request here?
Launching of the URL.
Launching of the application. Correct. Because before login, we launched the application. But if you observe carefully, there is no LR start transaction or there is no LR end transaction for launch. Why? Because while when I started recording, see when I click on this record button, okay, um, I saw that insert start transaction and insert end transaction options only after clicking on this button, and then the mobile window appeared, and on that mobile window we have insert start transaction, insert end transaction. Upon clicking on it, we see this piece of code. But before actually going there, before actually seeing that mobile window itself, we actually launched the application. How? By clicking on start recording. When you click on start recording, this browser already launched with this URL, with this URL, right? This link. So that's the reason you don't see a LR start transaction or LR end transaction for this. However, you can add it. You can write like this, LR start transaction like this. You can write. You can write on your own like this. Okay. I mean, LR start transaction is basically a function which is actually starting the transaction that you are entering here, the name. So where exactly I have to write LR end transaction? Can anyone tell where exactly we need to write LR end transaction?
Number 17.
Yeah, after, yeah, correct. After 16, yeah, anywhere after 16 you can write.
After the request, we have to write the LRN transaction.
Yeah, correct. So that means after line number 16. So here the request is ending. So here we need to write LR end transaction.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just writing it. Whatever the name you pass here, the same name you need to pass here also. And then you need to write lr underscore auto. See, this is auto generated. You don't no need to worry. But we just wrote it today just for our understanding purpose. Let's say these two are not there. You don't want to write these two especially. Now you have two options here. LR insert start transaction, insert end transaction. So place the cursor where you want to insert start transaction. Click on it. See it generated automatically, and just you give the name. That's it. Okay. And where you want to end it, line number 19, you just click on insert end transaction. See, automatically it is giving you the syntax. You just need to pass the name. That's it. So that's it. So that's the script is generated. Okay. Now ignore this for time being, ignore this for time being. We'll discuss in very soon in our upcoming sessions. But all in all, you have three transactions now: launch, login, and then log off. That's it. Now you can customize this script, or how to customize, what to customize, we'll see later. But I'm going to replay this script now. I'm going to replay this script. I'm going to replay this script. How do you replay? Simple. There is a run button over here. There is a replay button or run button. Just click on it. It will automatically run, and it will give you the result also. I'll tell you. Okay, just for understanding purpose, only for today's session. Okay. So what it has given us after executing is script is passed. I just clicked on this, right? So script is passed, and clearly you see launch, login, log off. Launch has taken 0.325 seconds. Login has taken 0.092 seconds. Log off has taken 0.172 seconds. The overall time it has taken is 2.165 seconds. Everyone understood? So how it is showing the result, you understood at a very high level. Okay, but it's a different thing, like why it is giving here. But when it is giving here, then what is the purpose of controller or performance center where we need to trigger the execution? Okay, we'll see later. I mean, why this is there? Just to make sure whatever the script that you developed, is that working or not? It is showing us. That's it. With some number, like how much time it has taken. Okay, simple. Did we? But okay. Did we mention with how many users we ran the script now? So with how many users we ran the script now? Any idea?
One user.
One user only. Did I mention anywhere 100 users, 1000 users like that? No. So in Vusion, you can develop the script and run it with one user only. If you want to run with multiple users, then you have to switch to controller or performance center. Okay, switch to instance, the script, whatever I recorded here just now, I need to upload it here. And this component will give us the option to configure or create a scenario with multiple users. We'll see that later, the practical sessions. Okay, so all in all, I hope you understood these three important points for our initial demo session. So if you have any questions so far, just make a note of it very quickly. I'll not take much time now. I'll just go through the course content quickly so that you'll get some idea, and then we can discuss the things. So this course, LoadRunner Basic to Advanced, this is a course content. And here we are going to discuss the important points, something like we will begin with architecture basics, introduction to performance testing life cycle, introduction to LoadRunner, how do you install it, how do you record and replay, features of Vusion tool, different features of Vusion tool, and then best scripting practices in Vusion. What are the best scripting practices? Okay, and then what are the runtime settings that you need to enable while running the scripts? Okay, and then how do you record, what are the different recording options. Just now I recorded the script, right, in Vusion. Similarly, do we have any other options to record, and so on. So, and then some important points like checkpoints. Checkpoints, like it's like validating the pages. Okay, it's like assertions. If you have ever heard a term called assertions, it is same. Okay, and then
JMeter it is there.
yeah. So obviously, yeah. So what happens is, in LoadRunner we call it as checkpoints. In JMeter we call it as assertions. I don't know if you know automation tool like UFT. In UFT we call checkpoints. In Selenium we call assertions. Okay, so that's how it is. Then it comes the important uh, point. Okay, so most of the participants ask me when I say introduction to C language, then they will immediately ask me, sir, is coding required for this tool, to learn this tool? Okay, so I will say yes, but only very basics. Okay, you need not learn you need not learn entire core Java or in something like that to learn automation, right? If you want to learn Selenium, what do you have to know? You have to know core Java, you have to know collections, okay? You have to know Selenium concepts, you have to know test engine. So many things are there. Here, the most important thing is to understand the basics of the C programming language, and the basics in sense just these variables, data types, if statements, loops, select case statements, functions. So we cover these in like 4 sessions, 3 to 4 sessions separately. Okay, because guys coming from non-IT, they need little more push, right, to learn or grasp quickly. So that's the reason. I mean, ideally all these concepts can be explained in 1 session only, but I took like 3 sessions. I kept like 3 sessions for those because I want to go a little bit slow, because these are very very important for you to customize or enhance the script. Okay, that's the reason. With practical examples I have to show, right? That's the reason. So it just takes like very basic concepts. We'll cover it. Okay. And then some C language inbuilt functions and all. And then one important concept in C language is how do you write data to a notepad file? How do you read data from a notepad file? Something like that. And I'll tell you some real-time challenges from interview point of view and all that stuff. Okay, after that, there is one important concept called correlation, which we will discuss for like 3 to 4 sessions again. It is very, very important concept. So this concept is present in every performance testing tool. Like in JMeter also we use this tool. Here also we use this tool. Sorry, concept. So the way we implement this concept in LoadRunner is different and JMeter is different. But overall the concept is same. The meaning is same. Okay. And
LR
then
underscore param underscore random is used for which one?
this is just one function. Like it will use it is used as part of I mean as an extension topic to correlation. So when you use correlation, there is something called like you capture all the values by giving ordinal equal to all, if you know already. So when you want to capture a random value from the list of values, see, let's say here, 1 second. Okay, so let me show you one. I mean, show you in sense like where exactly I'll use it. So let's say here you have like 10 city names. I want to select any city name randomly. Okay, I don't want to select the same city name again and again. I want to select anyone randomly. So there, what I have to do is I will use correlation, and using correlation, along with correlation, I'll use something called uh, these functions to capture a random value and pass or select that random value there. Okay, so we'll see that. So different functions will be used in relation to this concept. Okay, and then this is important, like we'll cover like 3 to 4 sessions, and then we go with parameterization, very very important. This again the same concept is there in JMeter also. Here also it is there. The implementation will be different. This is more easy to implement than JMeter. Okay, especially parameterization. That's fine. So till here we are actually completing the scripting part. Okay, very, very important scripting part. Okay, from here we are going to start how to create a scenario, how to configure a scenario. Okay, like that. So there are different types of performance tests like load test, scalability test, endurance test, like that. So we'll see what are those tests and how those will be configured and all that stuff. And then we analyze the results. Okay, what are the different graphs that we monitor, what are the different graphs that we analyze and all that stuff. And after that, uh, analyzing results in detail, and then drafting an email to client with all the observations. See, end of the day, you run a performance test. Now it, as a performance tester, your job is to tell whether the performance is good or bad, right? So that's the reason we draft an email with all the observations to client. Okay, very, very important. And then as part of this course, we'll discuss the interview question and answers. At the same time, we practice on multiple applications. Okay, it's not like the application which I'm showing here. This is just one application, but we'll be practicing multiple applications. Okay, because the more number of applications you practice, the more easy it will be for you. Okay, I mean, when you go to the real-time project, it will be easy for you. And then there is something called virtual table server. This is a different concept. I'll tell you, it is in sync with parameterization, but it's a different concept altogether. And then apart from this, we will also cover these bonus topics which are related to performance testing but not specifically related to LoadRunner. Okay, some of these are like fiddler and R file scripting, APM tools, application monitoring tools. Okay, 1 second, guys, sorry. Okay, application monitoring tools like AppDynamics and Dynatrace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a live session of either AppDynamics or Dynatrace. Okay, or let me make it clear. So I'm going to take a live session of Dynatrace and give a recorded session of AppDynamics. Okay, so either one of the tool, I will surely take a live session. That means when I take a live session, so when you run the load test, how the metrics are coming in other tools like these monitoring tools. Okay, I'll show you in live session because these are very, very important for performance tester. In every interview, this is a mandatory. Even every job description, the APM tool is mandatory. It could be Dynatrace or it could be AppDynamics or anything, but these two are most widely used in the market. Okay, and then I'll just take one additional session on true client protocol. That is some other protocol, and we'll also discuss some advanced topics like some high level information on these topics like head thread dumps and heap dumps, because these are all related to performance testing. Though they are directly not related to LoadRunner, but these are all related to performance testing and will be asked in the interviews for sure. And then there is something called load balancer algorithms, which for which you might get a question in interview. And then I will give you a recorded sessions for these two also. How do you connect to database to LoadRunner? Okay, and what are AWR reports? So I'll give you recorded sessions. So I'll give you recorded sessions for this and these two. Remaining all I'll take care. Okay, I'll explain it live. So apart from UI, I will also explain you the web services also. How to do performance testing for web services. Okay, and also not recorded sessions. I'll take one live session only, and then additionally I'll give you recorded sessions also. Apart from this, okay, apart from this, there will be there is another recorded sessions that you will get, that is LRE. So LRE recorded sessions, you will get it. Basically, in some projects, they are using the web version of controller. See, there is something called controller here, right? So in the recent, in some projects, they are using something called LRE, which is a web version, okay, or an enterprise version of this performance center. So I will give you a recorded sessions, like it will contain like 10 or 12 sessions, I guess. So very, very, very important. And in these sessions only, uh, we covered the end-to-end flow also. Like if you are assigned to some project, what you have to do from scratch. Okay, you join some project, what you have to do, where you have to start from scratch. Okay, from starting to ending of the project is what we have explained there. So those recorded sessions also are part of this. Okay, now I will open the questions for any Q&A. If you have any questions, do let me know.
Yeah, hi. How many days you are planning for taking this,
Uh,
completing this total?
Generally, it will be like anywhere between 35 to 40 sessions.
Okay, 46.
Yeah, and it depends on batch to batch. Some batches I take like 42, some batches 39, some batches 40 like that. But anywhere between 35 to 42
Okay.
or 36 to
So,
40.
so any real-time application you are going to
Yeah.
work
So
on?
that's here I mentioned, right? So here
Yeah, five
practicing
different.
on multiple applications, right? So uh, we have our own application, ishatrainingsolutions.com. Okay.
Mhm.
So which is specifically designed uh, to master scripting, which is specifically designed to master scripting from basic to advanced. So what in real-time applications, whatever you get, all those basic and complex scenarios we have added here in this application. Okay.
Okay.
Isha Training Solutions.com. Okay. Let me check the site is down, might be currently. I'll make sure it is up and running when we
Okay.
discuss this class. But we have our own application where we discuss or do scripting, advanced scripting.
Multiple real-time parameters
Yes,
valuables should be.
yes,
No?
everything. Because I
Okay.
mean, I have worked on many applications so far in my career. I can tell you this application is very good to learn advanced scripting for sure. Okay, when you come to that application and you see that application, you will see, sir, till now whatever we have learned scripting, this application is next level. It is having so many challenges like that. So why we are trying to cover multiple applications is, see, every application will be little different. Every application might have some challenges. The more number of applications you practice, the more easy it will be for you to master scripting. Okay, why I'm focusing or stressing this much on scripting is, in real time, nobody will assist you in scripting. Okay, it will take time for everyone, right? So you and your colleague have joined some project, your colleague knows everything and you know little bit scripting, and they assign you some project and you want to do some scripting, and you are stuck somewhere. So you go and ask your colleague will not help. See, one day he might help or they might help, but daily they will not help, right? So, and this is a main important thing where every performance tester will have to learn. Okay, they should not depend on others. So scripting is very very important. Execution and analysis, it's very simple. Very, I mean, simple in sense you can learn on the fly also. In sense like your colleague is executing. If he will share the screen and just explain you one day, that is enough for you to run your project at least, right? Analysis, like based on your project reports, already existing reports, you can also send your reports by analyzing. But scripting, nobody is going to assist you for sure. I have seen many performance testers joining projects and having issues in scripting. They don't practice. I suggest the more applications you practice, the more easy it will be for you in real time projects.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so any other questions?
Yes. By completing this course, are we able to show some experience as a performance testing?
Uh, yes. So because we are practicing on multiple number of applications, and you are going to learn end-to-end execution and project execution and all, definitely you can go ahead and say that you have like minimum 3 and maximum 5 years of experience by using this.
Okay.
Okay. I cannot tell like 10 years and all, because when you say 8 years, 10 years and all, they will focus more on engineering side, and also uh, like lead level activities and all that stuff will also come into picture. So
हाँ
so for this course, you can happily go ahead and say that
हाँ
you have like 3 to 5 years of experience for sure.
हाँ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ.
Okay, any questions?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, I have one question. Like, see, there is an applications scripting level. There is
हाँ
challenges like correlation and recording stuff. Major challenges
Hmm.
I come to know
ये जो आता है,
like
ये जो
One
दिक्कत
second,
how
करके
we
आता है
I'll
ना,
just sorry, I'll
दिक्कत
just
करके जो
turn off.
लड़का आता है 10
I'll
सेकंड
just
में ना,
okay, go ahead now. Yeah.
Yeah, how many ways you will be teach in the correlation types, like and recording types, and how many protocols you are going to be introduced in this
Okay.
course?
So yeah,
Uh,
so here if you go to any interview, they will ask you at least two protocols in interviews. Okay. So if you know three, well and good. So first thing is we are covering a web application because majority of the applications nowadays are web applications. So every application which starts with HTTP, HTTPS, we will anyways cover it. The second protocol that we cover is true client. Okay, the third protocol that we cover is web services. And one more protocol for which I will give a recorded session is the JavaScript protocol for connecting to to database through LoadRunner. So I'll try to take a live session at that time, but in worst case, I will give you a recorded session. So in using this, we are going to I'm sorry, in this session we are going to use a JavaScript protocol. So all in all, in this course, you are going to cover like four protocols.
oh, okay. And so, yeah, correlation part. So, how many ways you will be teach like is there is an SSO token and there is a token is expired, which is you are using
Yeah,
a correlation method,
correct,
dynamic
correct.
value is expired.
Yeah.
So
So uh,
those things are written
yeah. So
really
we will use it.
advanced.
So
You are introducing in this course.
yeah,
That's what I
I'll
mean.
tell you that yeah, the advanced correlation we will be covering. Not only tokens, not only user sessions, but like there are different challenges also. For example, in this application, actually the page
Okay.
is not loading. Let me check Isha Training Solutions.com. Okay, I'll ask them to check it. So what happens is in this application, um, once you enter username and password, once you enter username and password, you will not go to home page. You will get a security question. Okay, unless you answer the security question, you will not be able to go forward. But you don't know which security question you will get. So even those complex scenarios also we are going to handle.
Okay.
Okay.
So if some of the part is missing in the while recording any sessions or the header, so
Yeah, yeah,
you will
we are
teach
going
on
to
that
cover.
like
Yeah. So correct. So all those are already part of the course. So if the header is missing, what you have to do, if you recorded successfully, but while replaying script is failing, what you have to do, how do you compare the recording request versus replay request? How do you pass header uh, explicitly? So all these things will cover as part of the course. So that's the reason I told you this application is very important. It will make you learn many concepts for sure. This application.
okay,
Okay.
got it. And coming to the workload model, so you will introduce the workload model like
Yes.
how to
So that yeah. So I mean, this week itself, I'm going to explain you theoretically what is workload modeling and what is Little's law and all. And I'll tell one couple of examples also. But practically, we will see after completing the scripting part, because you need to know scripting, you need to know how much time it is taking for each iteration and all. So that is actually part of the course. So this week itself, we are going to cover one full session for workload modeling, and then some points which are pending, we'll cover at the end of the course while executing.
you will be introduced for MQ related things.
No, here as part of this course, we are not covering MQ, but web services are there, right? So we can manage. Or if there is any sample queues available on online that I can push a message, I'll see. It's not a big thing. Actually, that is very easy than a UI. Okay, so dropping a message in the queue is easy than a U and then a UI application.
Yes, I agree, but extra coding and all, so there is a some part of coding we need to write, right? So based on that, we can be
Yeah, but
pushing the message. To the,
this course it is not it is not covered actually, but I'll see if there is
okay.
any queue that I can drop or push messages that is available. I can show it to you. No problem.
And monitoring part, how many tools? I mean, AppDynamics and Dynatrace, I hate that. But so how we will be introduce like if it is on a I'm using it at 12 server, one of the server is failing. So how can we find out? And each server, how can we
Yeah,
monitor? Is that
we can
problem? We
we
will
can
definitely
use
do it.
these tools like AppDynamics or Dynatrace. That's the main purpose of APM tools. So application monitoring tools, like they have complete control on the servers that you are testing, and each tool have its own capabilities to tell you which server is down, which server is slow, which server has more number of errors, which server is taking more time, which server crashed. All these things, these tools can help you to analyze and get the details. Okay, so that's the reason this recorded session I'll give this tool, and this live session I'll take. So when I say live session,
Okay, DB level also will be able to do, right? DB,
every
DB,
yeah, everything, I mean, the tools, these tools will show everything, like the server slowness, which method is taking so much time, or which database query is taking time. It will give the query also.
okay, 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 got it. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so any
yeah,
other questions?
good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, thank you.
uh, yeah, so CI/CD Jenkins, I will just tell uh, at a high level, like what is Jenkins all about, where we exactly use it, and I will trigger a LoadRunner local scenario from Jenkins. So let's say I have a scenario, okay, in my local machine, in my machine, I will trigger that scenario using Jenkins, okay, and show you, like, where Jenkins is coming into picture, why performance testers need Jenkins. Is it really useful? Is every performance testing project implementing Jenkins? So all these things we'll discuss. So that is like a simple session additionally covered for that. Course fee, I will give you the contact details. Let me stop recording here.